doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Hey, welcome to the People's Weekly on peoplesradiounited.com. I'm Tim Buzz. I'm here with Canadian Glenn. Guess what country he lives in?
Not Mexico.
How you doing today, Glenn?
Yeah, all right. Typical spring, rain, windy, gray bullshit. So, yeah, that's Canada in June. Welcome.
Wow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save humanity and use myself as a guinea pig. I'm gonna get 2 big screens, one with constant video games and one with constant porn, and subject myself to that horrific torture for a week straight and see if I feel like shooting up a school or something afterwards.
Just don't take any Ambien.
Well, that makes you racist, not violent.
Well, they're a stone's throw.
Ambien with, if you add Ambien and porn or Ambien and video games or Ambien and the wrong music, then you become violent and racist. That's what I think. I'm not sure. Hang on, I'm tweeting this show out, and I'm so tired I don't even know how to do it. I'm hit the Twitter button and nothing has happened. This is an outrage. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I see it.
Listen to People's Weekly, June 1st tweet. Here we go. Okay, now people know we have a show. We can
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So what's been going on in the View up here? What's coming up?
Oh, just back after the last break. Had a show about post-truth conservatism and how it's just stomping on science. Something that happened 5 years ago in Canada, and now you guys are experiencing it. Changes things quite a bit, and it's not like a switch you turn on and off. Once you start to step on and shoo away the scientific community in your country, a lot of them just say, yeah, fuck you, see you later. And they go somewhere else. And they don't come back. So it's dangerous. Yeah, remember that?
Science without God is just sci-fi.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we heard that 5 years ago in Canada. We know.
Yeah. We've been hearing that forever here, but now they're trying to impose it on us even more than before.
It was all just talk before. Now it's action.
Yeah. Talk is better than action. And it's cheaper, evidently, so they should just keep talking and no action. I like that better. I just muted myself.
No, you didn't.
I did for a second, then I popped back up. It was an accident.
Ooh, tricky.
I gotta take my finger off the thing. Yeah, I'm literally fighting to stay awake, so if I sound more monotone and more utterly miserable and depressing than usual, that's because of this.
Well, you see, if I wanted to be a shit disturber, I would say, well, remember when we moved the show later? Is that paying off, or is that making it harder for you?
I don't even know. We moved the show later. It wasn't for me. It was for other hosts
who aren't here.
Yeah. Well, things change. You know what I mean? People's schedules and lives change after so many months. Sometimes, not everything is a constant for everybody. Since I'm the one that has to push the buttons, I got to be here and Glenn's here because he needs to make sure that we're on track.
Oh, yeah.
He's like that guy that was embedded in the Trump administration, but he's embedded in the people's radio. So if we go off too far from reality, we get slapped by Glenn.
Oh, yeah. I'm the tangent cop. Yeah, okay.
I didn't think of tangents. There you go. I was just thinking of rants.
Oh, no. That's fine.
Yeah, you had a whole rant show, didn't you? A little while ago?
Yes.
A couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago?
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Every once in a while. Has to be done. It's kind of like cleaning your rage cache.
Yeah, I do it every couple of weeks, maybe more. Cool, let's get started before everybody stops listening. Immigration and how immigrants are treated has been terrible for a long time, but now we have 1,500 missing kids in cages, kids being molested on military bases, adults being taken out of court, schools, and churches. How do we stop this madness? It is getting it's just getting mean-spirited. I mean, they've always deported people and done terrible things at the border and all that, this and that. That's nothing new. It's just now they're celebrating it so much on a mass scale, I think. Like they're proud of hurting these people that aren't people, they're animals or whatever, to quote Trump.
Well, I mean, from, being outside the United States, it's always been my understanding, and I know it's been backed up in U.S. courts all the way to the Supreme Court, is that, say, CBP wants to lay charges on someone gaining entry to the U.S., if you want to lay charges on them, then they are afforded the rights of the Constitution. If you don't want to give them rights, then you don't let them enter. It's pretty simple, And what I see going on now is, yeah, we'll let you come in, and we're putting you under arrest, and you don't get your rights.
But we still get the profit off you.
Well, our friends do. I mean, how many of these people who are being arrested, whether they're claiming refugee status or whatever their deal is, how many of them are staying in government-managed facilities, and how many are in private facilities? I would like to know that. I mean, the more behavior like this, the more money that's going to get spent, because you can't do this shit without money. You want to round people up, it costs money. You want to enforce stuff based on a piece of paper, not a law, you need money. So, if they have the money to throw around to be doing this on this scale, to be going through all the trouble of taking children away from parents who are no threat in any sense of the word, you're breaking the Constitution, flat out. And I guess the way they're hoping it keeps going is, well, they're not us, they're them. That's why we're doing it. But, it's like when counterintelligence started in Iraq, when the Army and the Marines started learning neighborhood warfare. And what's happened to American police forces since that started 15 years ago?
They become occupying forces.
Exactly. So maybe this is just some sort of, pilot program for a bigger scale.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like I haven't
And
heard. Have you? I mean, have you seen them saying we've got rid of all these? Well, I guess he says MS-13 is the worst. They're such horrible. You know, it's one gang. What about all the other gangs, including the white ones? You know what I mean?
no, but these are the poster boys, the mythical poster boys in this case. I mean, I did see some stats, and it's like the number of Mara Salvatrucha members that actually got into the United States and weren't stopped is like 1 out of 60,000 Central Americans. What exactly is the panic here?
Most of them, as I keep telling people, are immigrants. At least in LA, a lot of them are citizens, not immigrants. So
Hmm.
there's another problem. If you know, we're catching them with they're born here. This guy just, I don't know why he latched on to this gang. There's even bigger gangs in LA that do so much more damage. I don't know how this worked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But our government in the United States has done business with uh, um, Mexican drug cartels before. So I
Yep.
don't, you know what I mean? We've allowed one to go and be cool, and we have our favorites, and they give us information and stuff. Our government is shit. It's so corrupt, and it always has been. But these people are just they're going the extra mile to dehumanize people and say these people are less than you. These people are scum. They're rapists. They're murderers. And some of them, I assume, are very fine people. But when a gang of Nazis attacks and kills someone, wait, there's very fine people on both sides. I saw the video too. I mean, what, you know what I mean? How insane is that? There's no way that that's not just white supremacists, a white supremacist, a group of white supremacists running the country, which is what
Well,
it's always been. It's just, you like to think as we get older and times go on, people get smarter and realize that old ways were stupid and bad and evil, but they seem to keep trying to bring them back up.
well, I'll just call this scenario by its more familiar name, and that's fascism. But the difference is it's overt now. It's coming out into daylight. And you can go through history. This is how it starts everywhere. It's the same damn thing. It's always these people that we have to weed out because they're a threat. And guess what? They never run out of threats. You know? I
You
mean,
know
you
what's
think
even
of,
you know what's disgusting to me, Glenn? Is these ICE agents, a lot of them are Latino. And they got these idiot motherfuckers thinking they're so much better than their own people of their own race because they don't have a certain document that they treat their own people like animals. How terrible is that?
yeah, but it's not unique to history either.
No,
You
but
can,
it's just disgusting. I,
well,
I
it
think
is.
we have we
But
have we have the whole world is connected now. We have things that we have technology we didn't have back when these other atrocities happened. People can get information. People could think. People could see other people's views and talk to them. There's no reason anyone should have no empathy like this and be so deceived by this bullshit anymore. I think there's no excuse. There was no excuse before, but there's even less of an excuse now, in my opinion.
as far as finding members of the quote unquote target audience that would be willing to sell their identity to get on the quote unquote winning team, that's never going to disappear. Why? Because we're dealing with people. That's why. I mean, this is just a basic human weakness that gets exploited every time this is done, wherever it's done. You know, I mean, I think this is one of the big problems of present day. The willingness and the extent that forces will use the worst in people to do their deeds. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, it used to be that every once in a while a cause would appeal to the good. That takes too long. That's too expensive. Things move too fast. Now we just have to appeal to people's shit-ass knee-jerk reactions, and we make money, you know?
It's coming to the point where we're going to need community patrols, man. We're going to need people with some kind of sirens or something. When ICE shows up, I mean, the current administration and all their groupies, they love the Second Amendment. So I think when ICE shows up into a neighborhood, alarms go off and everyone comes out with their guns and runs them the fuck out of the neighborhood. This becoming that's going to be the only option soon, or to let them do what they're doing and keep progressing with this. I mean, they should have no ICE zones. ICE come in here, they might get shot at. They need to not come through here. I mean, ICE need to be scared to go out in the streets. They need to have to take an army of cops with them or something. I don't know. But it needs to get to the level where ICE can't just be snatching people up. What are all the people doing? I mean,
well, I mean, this is the advantage of, well, I mean, I'll use the English words, lightning strike. I mean, you know, this is what blitzkrieg is all about. You just blast in there, do your objective, get out of Dodge. It's hard to defense when people, you know, aren't really familiar with it. There will come a time, it'll be somewhere in some city, maybe in Philadelphia or, you know, who knows, San Diego, who knows where it'll be. But there will come a point in time where some targeted ICE raid will get derailed. And it probably won't be hyper violent the first time. Like, they won't be exchanging won't be exchanging gunfire, but it will happen soon.
Nobody wants violence, but I mean, they're armed gunmen coming in to snatch people up off the streets. These people love the Second Amendment. We need to, I mean, people can go out with their guns and say, no, you're violating people's rights. We're not going to let this happen. You need to leave. They don't need to just start shooting at them or anything. You know what I mean? Or at least have the whole community come out filming and shaming them, showing what happened. You know what I mean? Documenting every single time, but not just one. I mean, I see people walking up and down the street while these videos are being taken, and it's like, it's not my problem. You know, the person taking the video cares. What about everybody else? There's power in numbers. And that could be you. That could be you in a year or two. Not you, Glenn, because you're in another country, but I'm talking to, you know, whoever. It could be you.
But this is something that we've seen time and time again as well, and it's not changing. It's still there. Why? Because there's people involved. You know, I think it's even worse this time because for decades now, people have been told, well, especially whites have been told, that they're special. They deserve things. So it's much easier to just keep preaching the same shit over and over to these people, but just changing colors or background music. You know, there's less incentive to not buy the song and dance. You know, when people it's like when people get they don't care anymore. Well, then you're on their side, you know? It's just like the old thing about all it takes for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, real quick, this is something that just came up yesterday, Glenn, and it's kind of related. It's just like, did you see the story of Gregory Hill Jr., the guy that shot in his own garage?
Yes.
Yeah, this was in 2014 they shot him. He was 30 years old. He's sitting in his garage, chilling, listening to some music. In his house, Second Amendment had a gun, not out. It was in his pocket or his waistband or whatever. He's in his house. There's like millions of white people across the whole country doing other people, right?
Yep.
You're in your house with a gun, not a big deal. This is America, as the song says. Um, so the police were found not guilty. They said he caused his own death because he had alcohol and he was in his own house. And they were called for a noise violation. They're called because his music was too loud. So his family did a civil suit, and the result was they were going to give $4. His life was worth $4. A black man, the police walked in to his garage to tell him to turn down his music. Ended up with him being murdered, and his life was worth $4. And then the judge said, we're going to reduce it again to nothing. No, they reduced it to 4 cents first, right? Or 6 cents or something.
Yeah.
And then down to nothing. So this guy's family thought his life was worth $4. How horrible is that? And then the judge is like, no, screw you, nothing. You get nothing. It's insane. It's really, really insane.
Well, this is one of those issues where, yes, the police should be held accountable because they're the ones who carry out the act. But then the only reason they do is because, obviously, the way the laws are written. If this can happen in a court of law, then your problem is above this court. It's what in the fuck are they making judgments based on? So that's a whole nother game, you know?
Yeah, I would like to know the makeup racially of that jury, because historically in the United States, people of color get predominantly white juries. And oddly enough, white people get predominantly white juries too. Who do you think that works out for best?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's these Mexican people are thieves, killers, and rapists. And just another thing, I don't know if I said it. They shot him through the garage door. The door was closed, wasn't it?
There's something like that. Yeah. I can't be positive.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
Yep.
And none of these, Philando Castile, this guy, none of these NRA gun-loving people ever come to these people's defense. Black people, gun, thug. That's what they say immediately.
Yep.
With the white guy walking around with 2 pistols and an AK and an American flag, he's a patriot. The white guy who the police walked into his house and shot the chief of police and was given his gun back and apologized to, he's a patriot. It's insane. He didn't even get shot one time.
But see, this speaks to the overall thing as well. I mean, as you said, this is the age of instantaneous, multi-sourced information on a global scale. And it's not just people who are living under a rock that have the completely wrong understanding, from my point of view, about what's going on. But most of these people have the same access as you do and I do to information. And they still come out on being this far off the mark, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I mean, it just doesn't matter how much you give people. Certain people are going to believe whatever they want to believe. And that's the end of the story. It's just the people that don't give a fuck or just don't pay attention. Those are the ones you have to get to look at things the right way, not through an anal telescope.
It's tradition is the problem.
Tradition of stupidity?
No, that's what they kind of say. Oh, we were taught like this. America's this and that. They don't want to change what they've been raised and told to believe. They don't want to say, oh, that was all wrong. They taught me bullshit my whole life. I was lied to.
Okay, so I'll use an American model then. If you're Mr. Wall Street, if you're Gordon Gekko, then these people are just fucking lazy. And they don't deserve shit. You know? These free market people need to be reading their own stuff. If you want to say that's what I was taught and I ain't going to be learned no more, then you deserve to get ground into dust. That's what the right wing says. So let's see it happen.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. It's ridiculous. It's just total dehumanization of people because of first of all, their race, but under the guise of their legality in the country. Do you really think that Mexican dude I ran into in downtown that was screaming, "It's okay to be white, Trump, Trump, Trump"? Sorry. Do you really think that if they got rid of every um, Latino immigrant that was here illegally, the average Trump supporter wouldn't look at that guy like, you know, you're probably a rapist and a, you know what I mean?
There's probably some of them who do now.
You're one of them. Now
He
that they're
always will
gone, we
be.
need to, yeah. But see, he sees himself as different and better because he has a paper. He has a birth certificate, and they don't.
Well,
I mean, it's
I
a
mean
piece of paper. It's all a birth certificate is a piece of fucking paper.
that's his delusion, and that's why he's being used the way he is. You know, that's all.
There's so many people like that.
That's all.
You know what? This is a nice little way to get in. Let's go to number 3 and skip over 2 and come back into that because speaking of people who are sellouts to their race, who non-white supremacists. Trump is going to no. Trump already pardoned. This is written before this happened. Trump pardoned idiot criminal Dinesh D'Souza, who was charged with campaign contribution fraud. Much like he did when pardoning racist ex-sheriff Joe Arpaio, Trump claims another Republican criminal who supports him has been treated unfairly. and a lot of this, I think, is now. I've heard a lot of commentary on this particular thing where people are saying they believe it's him sending signals to all of these people that might flip on him right now in the Mueller probe that I could pardon. I have this power to pardon. Just shut your mouth and do the right thing, and I'll just get you out. And I hear Martha Stewart's in here somewhere. I don't even understand how that makes sense. But I'd rather you pardon 10 Martha Stewarts to one Dinesh D'Souza.
Well, of course, the main thing there is Martha Stewart has said she will not accept a pardon from a President Trump. So I think that's got more, yes. So that has more impact than anything Orange Buffoon's got to say. As far as this telegraphing something, I don't think Trump is smart enough to play that long a game. He pardoned Arpaio because he wanted to. And he pardoned D'Souza because he wanted to. It's short-term, tactical, donation related. You can count on that.
I thought I was, I'm a bit tired, but I thought maybe I was just off. But you said the same thing I thought when I was watching. I don't know what one of the. I was watching a couple media. It might have been CNN, Fox. I don't think Fox talks about this stuff. So it was one of the other ones, right? And I'm listening to them talking, and I'm like, you can't really have it both ways. You call Trump an idiot and has no, he's not smart enough to do anything, and he's a buffoon. And the next sentence you're saying he's masterminding his whole thing to send secret messages to. Yeah, I thought of that too.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I mean, I think it's obvious by now the way this administration is gone. Nobody can get him to do anything if he's in pout mode. It doesn't matter if it's smart or not. He's going to do it because he can, and you're not going to tell him he can't. It just seems so obvious. I'll just go on a bordered tangent. It's just like these tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and the EU.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking stupid or what? estimates I've seen said this could cost 160,000 jobs in the United States. You can look at a map for all 50 states, what their number one export country is. More than half of the states, it's Canada. So you want to start playing a game? This is just idiocy. And he thinks it's going to get him a better deal on NAFTA or, it doesn't work that way, Donnie. You know? We may look smaller on a map, but we're still, all these countries, they're still nations. They don't have to play ball with you, you stupid ass.
Yeah, and the biggest state, financial, revenue-wise, is California, where I live, and they're not a Trump-supporting state either. He's so stupid. It's like he's I don't know if that's the whole thing, like America, screw everybody else. We don't need you. We're not going to help you. I don't know what it is.
No, it's about, I don't know if this has even really been seen in the U.S. news too much, but it's all over the Canadian news today. The connection, I guess about 2 months ago, some sanction that Trump would not impose on Russia basically bailed out this huge aluminum maker in Russia that Trump is connected to from before he was president with money.
Yeah. That was a blip on the news here for it wasn't even newsworthy almost.
Oh, it's a big deal here today.
It should be a big deal here too.
Yeah, so all of a sudden he takes out these tariffs on Canada, the most direct metal trader the U.S. has. The U.S. has a $2 billion a year surplus trading steel and aluminum with Canada. So he's just going to throw that out the window. Why? Well, guess where people will have to go now? Russia.
Yeah, the whole thing is you wonder sometimes, if someone like Putin wanted just to destroy the United States as much as he could, putting someone like Trump in there is pretty awesome. He's making the whole world hate us. He's weakening everything we have. From our security to our financial stability, he's weakening everything. He's weakening the morale of the people. If the wrong shit happens, there could be a straight up civil war here. It wouldn't take much at this point. It would just have to be something really, really drastic that people went crazy.
Well, whatever. We're getting into tinfoil stuff now, but
No, but I'm saying, I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying, but if you were, that would be the smartest thing you can do is if you wanted to destroy a country, put someone like Trump running it.
Oh, I agree with that, but
yeah, I didn't mean that this is all a plot, by the Illuminati run by Putin and Jay-Z or anything like that. I was just saying, if Putin wanted to destroy a country and he was in cahoots with somebody else, this would be the way they could do it, and it would just work.
Well, like I said, I called Trump the American Gorbachev almost fucking 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, this man is incompetent. There's just no way he should have this job. It's as simple as that. He just doesn't understand, and he doesn't want to, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think things would be better for him even if he didn't have this job.
Oh, definitely. But the guy's a megalomaniac. He will never ever say he's over his head. He will never admit he's wrong. And the more wrong he is, the more power he uses to punish anybody who says he is wrong. This is pure ego. That's it.
Yeah. So I guess we're on number 2 now because we went from 3 to 2. Went from 1 to 3.
Well, no, let's finish on 3 though.
I thought it was related. That's why I was going to bring it in. But go ahead.
Well, this every time Trump pardons somebody, it's because they were treated unfairly. Like, that isn't the most vague bullshit I've ever heard. Like, he doesn't even trot out some kind of boilerplate defense, blame whatever circuit court put whoever it is away.
Go ahead. He says that.
Make a claim of the Constitution. No, he's too fucking stupid to do that.
Well, he's too stupid. He doesn't have a big vocabulary. He doesn't think first. That's his go-to phrase. I've been treated so unfairly by the press. Roseanne has been treated so unfairly. This person's been treated so unfairly. So unfairly. My wife's been treated so unfairly. They're treating my family so unfairly. I mean, he said it like 1 billion times.
It just has zero weight.
Yeah, it's just something he says. He doesn't need a reason. That's so unfairly. So unfairly. What about the people of this damn country that have been treated so unfairly for so damn long? You do something about that.
Well, that depends.
You think the homeless veterans on the street and all the homeless people have been treated fairly?
But they didn't contribute.
You think the people getting fired from their jobs because some company wants to dismantle it to make profits and get their shareholders paid more money are being treated fairly? Man, come on. You think people who can't get health care and are they can choose to go broke or die, are they being treated fairly? You think people that are just crossing an imaginary line, made up line between two countries that are being shot in the head or kids snatched away from them, families pulled apart, are being treated fairly? I mean, he need to shut the fuck up with that whole fucking treated fairly thing.
But this
is a guy who inherited $200 million and hasn't done a day of work in his life. Talking about he's been treated unfairly. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's all correct in the real world, but in the fascist world, all these other people are not people. In his world, obviously. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw.
He's the only one that's not the color of a real human.
Well, I'm not going to say Trump's an alien, because if he is, aliens are fucking idiots, and I'm not ready to accept that. Well, I certainly hope so. You mean there's some race out or species out there that can travel interstellar and they're dumber than us? I can't see it.
No, they just sent us their weakest link.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess that could be a good TV show.
Yeah, the insult on their planet is you're dumber than a human, and that's what Trump was called his whole life. Dumber than a human. Oh.
Interesting. Maybe Bellingcat will look into that. Oh, I just tried to work that in. Here's my opinionated dish on Bellingcat. What a piece of shit outfit. Oh my God, what fucking propaganda. Moving along.
Are we going to number 2 now?
Sure.
Yeah, these two are related, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're all about that asshole Trump. Okay, number 2, the Mueller probe seems to be closing in on Trump and his closest people. His actions make him look extremely guilty. Where will this go? Will he be able to pardon everyone from his kids to his associates, or will some flip? And will Pence become our new theocrat?
So many questions.
Yeah, I did it like a Batman episode ending on a cliffhanger.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Well, again, I think this is going to go on for a while. I don't really think there is a legal way for him to fire everybody and this stops. It's too late for that. It's too well set up by Mueller. And I say nothing big's going to happen until we see what happens after the midterms. If some people have to be arrested, and indicted to keep the integrity of things under control, or there's somebody they just want to get off the street at a certain time, they'll do that. But as far as indicting the people at the top or the people who know the most, I think they're going to have to wait to see what happens with the midterm elections, because if the Democrats take back the House, then shit's going to hit the fan.
Yeah, I think some of these Republicans aren't looking very happy about this whole trade thing. I was wondering if that might have an effect on it, or if they'll just come back to kissing Trump's ass again after they get over their little butt hurt.
Well, I think Trump's running out of latitude with a lot of, and I mean, there are some states that he won, quote unquote, won, like Pennsylvania, that he can't do without if he's around in 2020. So, you know, and all those congressmen, they're up for election this November. They ain't got time to wait. So there could be some pushback in the House, but I think it's more of making a list. You know, things go on a list, and when you get to as much as you're allowed, then things change. And I think this is a big one to put on the list. He can't get away with this kind of shit. Even though the U.S. basically wrote all the international trade agreements like WTO, the U.S. is completely at fault here. There's no way they can win any sort of case for what they're doing to Canada and Mexico and the EU. There's none. It's just an idiot move.
Didn't he lose some restrictions on a Chinese company because they gave him like $500 million for his hotel or something?
Yeah, national security seemed to be sidestepped on that one for ZTE. Yeah,
they were the company that had the phones that were spying on other countries, even some officials, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like what's the logic in that? Other than they gave him $500 million for his hotel.
Well, obviously that's what the President of the United States is concerned with.
Yeah, but isn't that illegal?
Well, yes, but apparently nobody gives a shit.
And I remember, I was talking about this the other day with somebody. I think it was Reagan or Bush, I'm not sure. One of them, there was an airline strike, and they demanded it ended. They used their presidential power to try to end the strike. And then I think it was Clinton, there was a damn baseball strike, and only because he loves baseball, he pled with them to end the strike. And both times, the opposite people were screaming about how illegal that was. The president needs to stay out of stuff because that's not right. Trump has done this with so many different businesses, injecting himself into the NFL, injecting himself into TV shows and this and that, trying to sell products. He just posted a book that people need to go buy the other day. Like, is there nothing this guy can do where they'll say, that's enough, this shit's illegal, you have to stop that at least? I mean, something? There's no way to give him a hand slap, or I don't know, how do you punish a president?
Well,
I mean, if he was a French fry guy at McDonald's, he'd have been fired already. This guy's the fucking president of the United States.
Well, like I've said on this show before, the quote-unquote founding fathers did count on somebody like this becoming president one day. What they did not count on was a Congress that would not use the tools that were given to them to get rid of him. That's what they didn't count on.
They probably didn't count on the two parties running everything like this with all this money getting pumped into them. I don't think they counted on a whole lot of this stuff going on.
Well, it's impossible to. I mean, it was in the 1770s, man. You know, that's impossible. I mean, yes, I agree that the Constitution's a living document and it should reflect the time it's in more than being archaic and useless. But the laws the process is there. The emoluments. I mean, this guy could have been gone a long time ago, but it's up to Congress to pursue it.
And the people have no power because the people that are supposed to represent them don't. They represent their donors. They represent the people that are giving them the most money.
And their party.
And their party, of course, yeah. Oh, I hate this place. I hate this system.
Yeah, this is...
It does seem hopeless sometimes. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, man, it just seems so hopeless, and it does. Something's got to give.
Yeah, but it could always get worse. So, I mean, you just have to hope that it comes to the breaking point, that sooner rather than later, where enough people say, okay, this is just enough, fuck this. You know? Just hope that it comes soon enough.
Yeah, I just wonder if now these crazy precedences have been set in this country where it always gets worse and worse and worse, but I mean, it's just gonna, like, someone like Trump is the norm. And we feel lucky to have somebody like this that's just a tyrant. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, don't forget.
Pence is next in line. These Democrats are really no better. They do the same shit with a smile.
Well, they do the same shit on a big picture scale, but they don't do what this clown is doing in tight. Nobody has.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
You know,
but no
this
Republican
is like...
has done that before either. I mean, this is a unique thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, compare it to the first Bush. The guy was director of the CIA. This guy knows how to play games. But never did he do things to profit his family's oil business. He never did anything direct like that. He managed to kill millions of people, but he didn't do something so blatantly self-interested in front of the people that he was playing this illusion to. You know? This one, he thinks it's licensed to do it.
Yeah. It's like he thinks he's king.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in his mind, I don't know why he doesn't just wear a crown when he goes out. That would be more awesome. At least people would understand where he's coming from.
Give him a Burger King crown.
No, he needs one of the big, cool ones with the fluffy top part and the gold little diamonds in them.
No,
yeah,
definitely
because then
not.
Then the people can see what he really thinks. And let's see how his supporters feel when they say, this is how he really feels about himself.
Most of them would say it's about time. He deserves it. That's how clueless they are. I'm serious, man. They are
when
sheep.
You said that, I laughed because it was probably true.
Oh, yeah. See? Take that, you fucking libtards. You know?
King Trump.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? I bet the number one reason that doesn't happen, because if that happened, then that would piss off the royal families in Britain, Saudi Arabia. You know, like, no, wait a minute. We don't need to do that. Because, you know, let's be real. The royal families around the world that have real power, do they think Trump's their equal? No, I don't think so.
They don't think he's a little bit bigger than them?
No. The Queen wouldn't meet him.
Well, I thought that was out of, like, she was, like, nervous because you know how to meet with the greatest person on earth. Like, kind of like, you know, the butterflies in the stomach kind of thing. And she just...
Is that the Fox and Friends version of it?
It was the I'm not worthy moment for the Queen.
Oh, yeah. Queen Elizabeth's, really intimidated by anybody.
Oh, yeah, she's not human. She's a lizard. I forgot. We should do a show about the funniest conspiracy theories. That would be funny.
Oh, God, no. You're going to get the wrong audience, man.
No, I mean just like one of these shows one day and just...
Well, we got to have Shagwell on for that.
Yeah, we have to have Shaggy on for that.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fun because I've been oh my gosh, I found some rabbit holes on YouTube. Sorry about the tangent. They would just be hilarious to talk about, man, because it's just so insane. I don't even want to talk about it right now. It's just so insane. But some conspiracy theories are just sheer comedy. The
Wow.
fact people actually believe some of this stuff makes it even funnier.
Well, you don't believe unless you donate.
You don't believe unless you donate.
That's right. That's what it's all about, man.
Oh man, yeah. Let's do that soon. Let's just have a fun show. The world could fall apart. We just won't talk about it one week. We'll talk about crazy conspiracy theories.
Well,
But
this
you're
is
right.
almost.
It has to have Shagwell on that. Has to.
We're going to need like 2 weeks advance notice, and everybody will have to bring their best conspiracy theory.
Have to try to outdo each other.
That's right.
The last person's just gonna have to make one up to get wackier than all the other ones.
Well, take a piece of the first three and then make one.
Yeah.
See, actually, that's a good tactic because then that is really good misinformation because you're taking a piece of everybody else's story. So does that legitimize them? Does it put you above them because you've got all that? But wait, there's more.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this to everybody, but I am. So the other night, Shagwell drunk dials me, and he's just talking about some crazy stuff, but he's sauced, man. And then he's like, you know what the problem with everything is? I was like, what? He goes, Satan and aliens. I'm like, okay. He was just joking around, talking shit. So I said, you know what, you're thinking too. You're not thinking on the right level, Steve. The problem's not Satan and aliens. The problem is satanic aliens. And he was like, whoa.
That would be a new twist.
Yeah, it was just funny. I know
Like,
it's irrelevant to anybody who wasn't there, but if you had heard his drunk ass was thinking how awesome that was, you'd have appreciated it. Should have recorded the call.
how about
Shagwell, if you're listening, next time you drunk dial me, I'm recording the call for further use on people's radio.
MS-13 extraterrestrials?
Because they're not. When Trump said they're not human, he didn't mean extraterrestrial. He meant they were lizard people like Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, we're on a hell of a tangent. We need to get to number 4. Speaking of lizard people, Roseanne Barr. No. Yeah, I said we shouldn't have to explain the difference between Roseanne Barr making racist comments and someone being critical of stupid, corrupt, evil politicians, but evidently some mainly racist and Trump supporters, two names for the same thing, can't seem to see the difference, so we have to explain the obvious. I mean, have you seen that online, Glenn? Like, Roseanne Barr got her show canceled for saying terrible racist shit, and then this Samantha Bee called the president's daughter a cunt and said she should put on something tight and tell her and make Trump do something, which was hilarious. They're two totally different things. One is a blatantly racist remark, and one was saying something bad about a stupid ass person. And Roseanne's remarks were based on a history of racism, where white people love to call black people monkeys and apes and stuff. I mean, I've seen it in Nazi rallies. It's horrible. I've seen it on Twitter. I'm sure we've all seen it online.
Well, the common factor with Roseanne Barr and little Ms. Trump is that they're white and they're rich. So my immediate conclusion is if that's what you are, you do no wrong. If you're attacked rightfully, you're the victim. If you do the attacking and it's stupid, you get an excuse. If you're the victim of those attacks, Valerie Jarrett, I think, handled it. It's impossible to handle it any better. I mean, what she did, what she said about how it has to be a teaching moment, that's boilerplate, but it's very good boilerplate. That is what should happen, but you know it won't. And then as far as, I mean, this is like, I find this just like trying to censor somebody like Jerry Seinfeld for saying that what's up with Ivanka Trump, you know? Just because he put her name in his usual material, he has to get hung for it now. Samantha Bee is like this about everybody she talks about. That's her thing. And is there a First Amendment or not?
Yeah, well, doesn't the outrage kind of seem odd from who it's coming from? I mean, these people call people cucks and talk about, oh, didn't do nothing's black people, you know, are thugs and criminals and illegal aliens. They don't even call them people. And Trump is just, you know, fat pigs and bleeding from here and there and too ugly. I would never date her. And you know what I mean? Just terrible, constant lying this person, lying that person. This person's, I mean, just a nickname and something little this person. These people do nothing but disparage people and disparage races and do horrible things and just terrible comments all the time. But then when it's against one of their people, they start crying. You know, if you say something like this is some bullshit, you're a snowflake, you're a cuck. But then now what are they doing? They're all, oh, they can't do this, they can't do cancel. They have to, and they want to get rid of Bill Maher, and I'm so happy. Please do. Yeah, no shit. He said racist things too, so yeah. Boom, get rid of that guy. I don't know why they think that's gonna. I don't know, maybe the Democrats will feel bad about that. I don't know, but I don't care. Well, I think this is also something that we've seen before in history in these types of situations. The idiots who like to trumpet everything up and get all riled up, they use their freedom of speech to do so, but then as soon as anything close to that is used on them, they cry the victim. And they get away with this until a certain point in time because the people they're doing it against have more class than that. And they try to ignore it and just laugh about it for as long as they can. But sooner or later, there will come a time when you have to fight fire with fire. We're starting to see that. And hopefully it gets to be more and more and louder. We'll see what TBS does. I don't think they're going to do anything. Is that what Samantha Bee is on? Is on TBS? Yeah. Oh, and can I say something? Yeah. The thing that upset me the most was that she apologized. Why the hell would you apologize when you didn't do anything wrong? Other than she didn't say anything racist. She didn't say anything horrible. That's got nothing to do with the morals of the situation. That's got to do with the financial situation. Do you really think those people watch her show? But the advertisers are the ones who matter. Yeah, but how many Trump do they want to become No, that's not it. Hats are watching her show. That's not it at all. Oh, I'm missing it then. What is it? The issue is make an issue about that comment and go after her advertisers. But those aren't the people watching her show. That's what I'm saying. But it's if like it involves a bunch of Democrats be like, we're going to boycott Fox News. What are they going to? Oh, so who cares? No. I mean, whatever brands are advertising on Samantha Bee, they're national brands, they're household brands. They spend a lot of money on their brand.
And if staying advertising on her show brings a more general boycott of their products from the Drumpf army, that's something to consider.
They look at it about 30% of the market, right?
Well, maybe they're strong in certain areas where it's going to hurt them. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
the new game that's out there now.
Trump supporters are kind of cool if you're a person, if you're a big company, because they'll buy your stuff and they get mad at you and then blow it up. And then when they're not mad at you anymore, they got to go buy more. So I guess they are, they were doing that weren't they shooting up coolers and coffee makers and stuff like that a while back?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they buy this stuff and then shoot it up and throw it off balconies and say, screw this, we're boycotting. But the idiots already bought it. They don't understand what a boycott is. Yeah, look at it. There was like some cooler company stopped giving these things to the NRA, so they all start shooting them up, like these expensive coolers. And I'm like,
whatever.
You already paid for the goddamn thing. So the company's got their money. They did the same thing with some coffee maker. I don't remember what that was over. They started throwing them off balconies and smashing your. It was a Kruger. I don't know what the company is. A coffee maker. And yeah, you buy these $200, $300 coffee makers and smash them up. How many of them people do you think thought about this? They ain't mad at the company anymore. And they're like, I need some coffee. I gotta go buy another coffee maker. Now they done bought 2 coffee makers. That's that. I guess that, yeah. You want boycotts like that if you're a big corporation. Buy my shit, smash it up, and then buy it again.
We've seen what can happen over the last few years. You can go back to Chick-fil-A. You can go to lately with Starbucks. I mean, this shit has an impact. And if you're just buying airtime on Samantha Bee and you see it's profitable, you have to consider, would it be as profitable if our sales went down instead of up? That's all. It's just a sign of the times. You want to harm somebody's career, you try and derail their television show by getting her advertisers to jump ship. That's just the way the game works these days.
Yeah, if I had a business, I'd have a sign on the door. The no shoes, no shirts, no service. I'd be like, no cops, no Trump supporters, no red hats, no red mega hats or something, especially now that we have religious freedom, and I'd be like, that's my religion is anti-fascism. So I couldn't, in good faith, let fascists come into my establishment, or my deity will strike me down with lightning.
Okay, you want to hear a right-wing lightning theory on that? If you're using Antifa principle as your religious refusal, then that is reverse onus that Antifa is a religion.
Yeah, I know.
So then the federal government will declare Antifa a terrorist group.
They already have. But the thing about it is, I don't know if I was kind of mocking a little while back. There was a guy who got kicked out of a place for wearing a Trump hat, and he said the Trump hat was part of his religion.
Oh, it is.
The judge struck it down in court, so they can kick you out if they want. They don't have to serve you. That's what he went with.
Well, at least he told the truth.
Yeah. Did you see that story? Because it was
yeah.
Pretty, yeah. I was just kind of making fun. I'm so tired, man. I was goofing around saying stupid shit today, so whatever. But I really wouldn't serve certain people, or I'd fuck their shit up. So yeah, if I'm ever working in a food place and you're a fascist and come in, I wouldn't eat the shit I give you. I'm just gonna put that out there. Oh man, so what else, Glenn? Was that it? We got through the show, or we got through some tangents. Did we get through everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, the people are rejoicing.
Are they?
Yeah. Less
Oh,
tangents. Usually we're off on tangents. Tons
okay.
of tangents. We were efficient with our tangents today. We got them in and out of there, and that's always good. Um, so yeah. Anything else you wanna? You already shouted out the view up here for next week, right?
Well, there's next Thursday, June 7th, is the provincial election in Ontario, Canada's biggest and most populous province. And of course, my show was on the night before, June 6th. So, guess what my subject will be next week? And then, probably after that, I'm going to help shed a little light on a project put together by a legend in British Columbia media named George Orr. He made a documentary in 1958 in Vancouver. There was a collapse building a bridge that killed 19 iron workers. And it's the 60th anniversary coming up, I believe, on June 17th. He's got a documentary made that's being screened in Vancouver next week. I want to give him a little exposure about that project.
That's good. I don't know why I know that name.
Who, George Orr?
Yeah.
He was on one of my shows back when I was doing the BC election run-up, and the dude's just a legend.
Maybe that's why. Yeah.
There's a broadcasting award named after him, and he's still alive. So, take it from there.
That's cool. Very good. Yeah, and as far as People's Radio, we're slow, because, like I said before, we're doing things now that are going to be both video and audio. You know what? If anyone here listens to this now or in the future, and I'm gonna ask for help, if you know how to do a Spreaker live stream that will be able to go on, that will be able to feed to YouTube, or how I can go about doing that in a simple, easy way without having to feed it through two computers and a bunch of equipment and all this and that. If it's possible, please let me know, because we kind of wanted to stream on both at the same time instead of streaming here and then popping up on YouTube later, so the people that watch YouTube could comment as well. That was kind of what we wanted to go for. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas on how to do that, please just hit my Twitter and tell me how, because I see ways to do it, but it's just a real bitch and a whole lot of, you know what I mean, going around the long way kind of stuff. And if there's an easier way, I would love to know about it. But yeah, new stuff's... Oh, go ahead. What, Glenn?
I was just going to say, well, Spreaker's not exactly the most open-ended platform anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
There's one way in.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's two ways in now. BTR, right?
Well, so they say, but I don't see no bridge, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you had the bridge and we didn't. I guess
No.
I was wrong.
No.
So yeah, a lot of new stuff coming, and I'm just working out some templates and stuff like that, so things look the same and they look good and everything works out. We can start getting shows out quickly and efficiently, so bear with us. I know we keep saying it's coming, but it is. We always say something's coming and eventually it comes or it doesn't, so you got two options. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you to all who listened. And any last words, Glenn?
Last words.
I didn't mean it like that. I mean, anything you want to say before we go?
No.
Okay, we're out.